Hold on, chat. The most terrifying things in our universe by good enough.
Let's start with
Lock
the
in.
scary and
Lock in, lock in.
slowly work our way towards the most terrifying ones.
Hold on, chat. I can't hear shit. I turned my headset off thinking I was turning it on. Okay, anyways. The most terrifying things in our universe by good enough. Walk in.
On the
So it's
list, number 10, space junk.
hold on.
Let's start with the scary
I about to say walk in there, but just that never happened, alright? That never fucking happened.
and slowly work our way towards the most terrifying ones on the list. Number 10, space junk. As it turns out, our planet is not the only thing we treat like a giant trash can, since space is slowly becoming a giant landfill as well.
Can I just say something, right? I know with this, with the kind of space thing, as in like we're dumping trash in it, because since it's harmful, because it's around our planet, that's why it's harmful. But see, in all reality, when it says space is like a giant landfill, we haven't even touched the surface of what we can dump in space. Holy shit, that thing is it's infinite. Actually, it is infinite. Infinite space. You could put anything in it. But it's just because it's around our Earth and our orbit, then it becomes harmful. If you get what I mean. The ozone layer, shit like that, stuff like that.
There are currently millions of pieces of man-made junk in Earth's orbit, with over 30,000 of them being over 10 centimeters long, or around 4 inches. Now, the reason why this is so scary is that the number of junk is only growing. But this really shouldn't worry you, since I'm sure we'll eventually get around to cleaning it, which usually only happens when it becomes a big...
No, we won't. We'll come to clean it when it becomes a problem. And we probably won't even clean it there. I mean, look at climate change. We need to start cleaning shit, but we're just like, nah, we're gonna actually keep producing things in plastic. Why? What we're getting at that?
A problem that our government is forced to do something about it.
Oh, shit.
You see, the growing amounts of space junk are becoming a major problem for space exploration and travel, and NASA has already had to course correct 32 times since 1999 to avoid satellites and space debris. Now, you're probably thinking, this is an issue that you will never have to worry about, since you never
Obviously.
leave the house, let alone plan on traveling to space.
Obviously, but for the future run, it is a problem for the future generations. Because look at the, for example, a lot of people nowadays look at the for example, look at the Industrial Revolution. That was coal and fossil fuels, which we thought was revolutionary, and we really thought that was it. Now look at the fucking shit that's caused. Now look at the my hair is pissing me off, but now look at the amount of like kind of thing that's fucked us over. I mean, fossil fuels, fucking the ozone layer, the amount of oxygen, the fucking global warming. That's all been fucked because of fucking the Industrial Revolution, because that's how we learned how to do something first, and that's how we've continued doing it. So we have to make a change.
But as it turns out, the space debris might just come to you. There
What?
have been
Oh yeah, I forgot it crashes down now.
many reports of large pieces of metal, spaceships, and satellites landing on people's property and homes. But I'm sure the majority of the pieces go unreported since they most likely land in the ocean.
Which is even worse than landing on land. Obviously it wouldn't kill as much, but putting like with the amount of shit landing on land is the ocean is substantially more important than land by a mile. If we do not have the ocean in good condition, we will not have the land. If we have the land in shit condition, we'll still have the ocean. It just won't. The ocean won't be in good condition. The land will just be gone. The land will actually just be fucked over, unusable. But the ocean, you've got to think, everything came from the ocean. Everything came from the ocean, really.
Where they blend in with the rest of the trash.
Exactly.
Number 9, cosmic voids. As we leave
What the fuck is that?
Earth's orbit and begin to look further out into the universe, we quickly begin to discover all sorts of terrifying things. But before we get to those, I want to focus on nothing. I literally mean nothing. You see, there are vast spaces in the universe that don't contain anything at all. No planets, no stars, no moons, no McDonald's, no asteroids.
How, bro? What? How are people gonna do this stuff without a McDonald's, man? There's no point in having it, is there?
Nothing. These empty spaces are known as cosmic voids, and in some cases they can be hundreds of millions of light years in diameter.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's from like fucking planet to planet. Like, what if the sun just runs in their diameter? What?
This would create a long and lonely space trip for anything that decides to journey across them. Unless, of course, you were blessed with being an introvert, since we are completely immune to this weakness.
I don't think that's how it works. You're not getting an Xbox or a Switch up in there.
Now, I know these large numbers are very hard to grasp, so let me
It is physically impossible to grasp these numbers. You cannot try grasping these numbers.
just show you what this all looks like. Here's an illustration of the Virgo supercluster.
The Virgo supercluster. See this, right? It looks, but see if you try to imagine this in your mind in the actual scale of it, you can't do it. No matter how smart or how far ahead you are in the intelligence, you cannot do that. Your mind's incapable of doing it because it's so large and it's so confusing and it's actually so kind of wild to imagine. You can't physically do it. Cannot physically do it.
Which contains a
But the only way we would be actually able to do it is if we adapted over years and years and years of getting used to kind of trying to fucking contain these kind of things in our mind over and over, like a bigger one, then the next generations contains a bigger one, then a bigger one, and a bigger one. And then that eventually you'd probably be able to do that, but it'd be in hundreds, maybe thousands of millions of years.
around 100,000 galaxies, including our home, the Milky Way.
What's the
Now
Milky
let's
Way?
zoom out and take a look at the areas here. These are cosmic voids.
Is this the universe? No, it's not. I mean, this looks simplified. This is extremely simplified. See this? You cannot comprehend how big that is. You will never be able to comprehend how big that is. Never. Never.
This particular one here is called Boötes Void and is one of the largest voids in the known universe, spanning
universe.
around 330 million light years wide.
You can't imagine that. You can't imagine that in your imagination.
For perspective, the entire Milky Way galaxy, which is home to at least 100 billion planets, is 100,000 light years wide.
That's what I mean. You can't, even that there, you can't imagine that. You cannot imagine that. You cannot imagine that.
Number 8, dead galaxies. Dead
You
galaxies
don't have something to go off to try compare it to.
are galaxies that have run out of cold hydrogen gas, which is necessary to fuel stars and create new ones. These dead galaxies will be the first to become completely dark and lifeless, leaving behind a cold and lonely cemetery. But for now, these galaxies appear red as they burn through their last remaining energy that they will ever have. Now let's get to the terrifying part. All galaxies, including our own, will eventually run out of energy, and
Yeah, but that's billions and billions of years away. If humans are still living, they'll find a way to fix
it's
that.
hypothesized that the entire universe eventually will as well.
That's what's crazy to think about. We could just be here, or we are just here. When the universe started, we could just be one minuscule, one tiny, tiny part of what happened in this universe lifespan, and it just ends. And we were a tiny, beyond microscopic point in that kind of life of the universe. And we were nothing. We are genuinely nothing in the grand scheme of things when it comes to this stuff.
Stage that is referred to as the Dark Era, and it's speculated to be the final state of the universe, leaving behind a cold and dark universe where light and energy cease to exist. Number 7, planets. NASA
What?
estimates that there are at least 100 billion planets in the Milky Way galaxy alone, and over 6 sextillion planets in the observable universe.
You can imagine that, right? You can imagine that number, but you can't imagine that amount of planets.
That's 21 zeros, by the way.
That's how much planets there is in the universe. If you try to imagine that, you physically can't do it. You physically cannot do that.
Not that it even matters, since none of us could even come close to comprehending that. So
Exactly.
Instead, people try to visualize this by saying
Oh my days, I'm so sorry. I haven't even fucking put the react thing back on. Oh, wait, hold on. We'll go back to the number hang.
since none of us could even come close to observable universe. That's 21 zeros.
That's the number. You can't see it, but behind my face cam, I'm sure there's one more zero behind my face cam. Behind my face cam, I'm sure there's one more zero. Oh no! There's another 4. Fucking hell. Anyway.
By the way, Not that it even matters, since none of us could even come close to comprehending that. So instead, people try to visualize this by saying that there are more planets in the known universe than grains of sand on Earth.
That's not true. Because you want to know why? Because the amount of planets is probably a lot more.
And for those of you that have never been to the beach, take it from someone who has. We still can't comprehend this number either.
Yeah, again, I didn't even think of that. That's fucking stupid. Why the fuck would we do think of that?
Now, we don't have to look far to find
Just a random saying.
some truly terrifying planets, since we have a few of them
I know there's one that rains diamonds, and that's the only one that I can fucking remember.
here in our own solar system. But let's just take a look at the scariest one, Jupiter.
Have you seen one in our solar system? Jupiter is scary, but a savior at the same time. This fucker takes so many asteroids for us, it's unbelievable. See, if we didn't have Jupiter, we'd been wiped out. We'd been wiped out years ago.
Planet is an absolute nightmare and is scary enough to just look at. Jupiter's a giant gas planet that is 1,300 times larger than Earth and is
You can't even comprehend Earth's size, barely. Maybe you won't be able to do that.
covered in violent
Maybe,
storms, as I'm sure you already know. But really
There's
quickly,
the
here are
massive
just a
red dot. I think this is a storm.
few of the ways Jupiter would absolutely mop the floor with you. Radiation exposure, dead.
Nah. I'll tank it.
Atmospheric pressure, dead.
I'll tank it.
400 plus mile per hour winds, dead.
Light work. Shit, give me a challenge.
Struck by lightning, dead. You
Shit. Not that hard to dodge.
overheat, dead. You freeze,
Doesn't happen to me.
dead. You decide
Doesn't happen to me.
to breathe, dead. But
No.
if Jupiter's not scary enough, our galaxy has many other horrific planets to choose from, like planets that constantly
No. Molten glass. What's that again? I want to say that's Mercury. It's definitely not though.
rain molten iron or molten glass. Planets that are entirely covered in ice.
That's Uranus.
Planets that are entirely covered in lava.
That's... What's the one in front of the sun? Holy shit, what is it again? Venus.
Planets that are entirely covered in water.
That's us.
Planets that are just completely dark.
I don't know.
Planets with giant hurricanes the size of Earth.
Okay, yeah, that's Jupiter.
Nope, that's just Jupiter again. I told you that place sucks. Number 6, aliens. Ever
That's a random thing.
since we were young, Hollywood has conditioned us to be scared of aliens. So it's no surprise that this one would end up on the list. Movies like Aliens,
I genuinely think we are alone. I do genuinely think we are alone in the universe, because for us becoming alive as it is so farly lucky that it's unbelievable. I genuinely do think we are alone by a mile. I don't think we'll ever find another species. Never. I don't think they ever. But a lot of shows put hope into people, like, there's got to be another species out there. There definitely isn't. There definitely is not.
Signs, Predator, Close.
For humans to be alive is unbelievable, and I don't think we have the. I don't think there's enough luck in this universe for it to happen twice.
Cloverfield, The Thing, and of course The Goat, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I thought we were gonna hear not E.T.
All made aliens incredibly violent and terrifying. And when
that's
Hollywood finally attempted to create a friendly and relatable alien, all they got right was his
Okay, it was E.T.
body type. And it definitely worked.
E.T. phone home.
Scientists say that it's only a matter of time until we find the existence of aliens. But here's the thing, right? An alien or an extraterrestrial being is simply just something that is living that didn't originate on Earth. So this could be something as small as bacteria, but if we're lucky, it could be a fish or mammal-like creature. But of course, this could be something infinitely more terrifying.
Because again, they could have adapted completely different to what humans are. We've adapted to the way we live and the way we do things and the way we needed to live. Let's say their thing's what? Let's say their gravity is times 3. They're going to be 3 times stronger than us. And it's not going to be nice. But I don't know.
And that's what makes this one so scary. We really
I
don't
don't know if they will be able to live that. I don't know if it makes a
know
difference.
what's out there. Now, thankfully, we all know that first impressions are everything. So I'm hopeful that aliens will just take a quick look at Earth's orbit and decide not to visit, since
Yeah,
we're
sure.
obviously very dirty. Number 5. Gamma ray bursts. Gamma
yeah,
ray
these are
bursts are the
scary.
most powerful explosions in the known universe, releasing more energy in a second than the sun would in a billion years. This can occur a few different ways, either when a star goes supernova, when two neutron stars collide and form a black hole, or when a black hole swallows a neutron star. These massive bursts of energy are a million trillion times brighter than the sun and could last anywhere from 10 milliseconds to
A million trillion. Don't even know what that number is.
several hours. Now here's what makes them so scary. The light produced can't be seen by the naked eye. So if Earth were to
It's not
be hit
adapted
by
to
one
it.
of these powerful gamma ray bursts, we would never see it coming.
See this. This is even this year is unrealistic. You wouldn't be skinned. You'd actually be turned to ash. You would generally be just turned to atoms.
And depending on how close the source of the gamma ray burst is, it would determine if life on Earth would survive. At a distance of 6,000 light years, it would cause mass extinction due to the deadly amounts of radiation. But if the gamma ray burst occurred further away but still managed to get a direct hit on us, it could still be catastrophic, since it would heavily damage all of our satellites and technology.
It would damage the fucking Earth as well. We are lucky we have the atmosphere we do. We are lucky again we have Jupiter.
Shutting down the Wi-Fi.
Oh, fuck off. Never mind. This is catastrophic.
Now,
This is catastrophic.
thankfully, Earth is not really in danger of such an event, since our sun is far too small to produce this type of explosion. Instead, our sun will just grow so large that it slowly swallows the entire planet.
What does that mean? Okay, that
We
may...
need tools to transform
Would that happen before the sun explodes?
our business in the way we transform our product. If the operation is not precise, you will never get a precise product. We are confident
Some
Asana
wild
will help
suspension.
us to shape the future.
I was not gonna let me skip it there.
Oh, hi. Would you like a free gift? I'm a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day
Number 4. Colliding galaxies.
I've always wondered about this. How, like, is there a chance a planet like slips through without being hit?
With billions of galaxies traveling through the universe, some are bound to bump into one another. As a matter of fact, our galaxy will be one of them. The
Wow.
Milky Way is scheduled to crash into our neighboring galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy. But that collision won't be for another 4 to 5 billion years.
So probably after the sun's blew up.
Hopefully long after humans have left Earth and populated other planets. But let's talk about what makes colliding galaxies so scary. As the two galaxies begin to get close to one another, their gravitational pull will bring them together. Now, surprisingly, planets crash.
Think of it like this, right? Hold on. Think of it as like this. There's two groups of magnets, right? I might be wrong when I say this, but I feel like this is how it's gonna work. There's two kind of groups of groups of magnets, right? See, the closer they get together, right? Let's say one of them goes. Let's say the one at the front is just the first one to go, right? But again, the ones that were touching that one have been pulled forward as well. The ones touching those ones were pulled forward as well, and then so on and so forth. So if one magnet goes and they connect, the two that were touching those two will connect. The four that was touching those will connect. Then the 8 that was touching those ones will connect, and the entire thing will just come together, and all the magnets will crash together. And I think that's what happens. One sun collides, and 2 suns collide, then 3 suns collide, then 4 suns collide, then 8 suns collide. Whatever, I don't know, I could be wrong. It probably is wrong. It's probably just because the galaxy itself is traveling, and they just happen to crash into each other. But I don't know if that's how it works.
Crashing into one another would be
I didn't take physics.
extremely rare, since galaxies are mostly empty space. But what would happen is planets would be rearranged and shuffled around, knocking them away from their current solar systems and creating new ones. So any planet with life on it might be stuck with a new neighbor.
Okay.
Here are a few galaxies that are currently merging as we speak.
Really?
Number 3. Supernovas.
These are scary. These are actually fucking terrifying. Because it can happen at any time and we wouldn't know.
Supernovas are the largest explosions that humans have ever seen. They can outshine their entire galaxy for a few days or even months, and can be seen across the universe. A supernova can occur a couple of different ways. The first one is when a massive star runs out of nuclear fuel and collapses, causing it to go supernova. The second is when a white dwarf star gains enough mass by siphoning it from another nearby star, causing it to collapse and explode. But let's talk about what makes supernovas so scary. When a star goes supernova, it obliterates everything in its path and is powerful enough to destroy all life on any planet within 30 to 50 light years. For perspective, our sun is only about 4.2 light hours away from our furthest planet, Neptune.
So if this we're dead. We are dead if this fucker blew up.
Even though supernovas are one of the most deadly events in the known universe, easily obliterating every living thing in their way, at least they make great screensavers.
I wouldn't say that. Okay, they do make great screensavers. I do believe that. It's just, if one were to I'm sure we've seen things. There's probably been a couple people in the world that have looked up at the sky and they've seen a supernova. You could visibly see them sometimes. I think that's right. I hope it's right. I hope I'm not being fooled by AI videos. Telling you, man, AI is going too smart, maybe.
Number 2, black holes.
Oh,
Black
I love
holes
black
are
holes. I love black holes. I have no fucking jack shit about them, but they've got so much aura.
easily one of the most terrifying things in the known universe. It's mostly due to the fact that we don't fully understand how they work. But here's what we
to know where we go if somebody jump in them. I want to know where they go.
do know. There are 2 different types. The first one is called a stellar mass black hole and is roughly 3 to 1,000 times the mass of our sun. These are created when a large star goes supernova and collapses in on itself, creating a black hole. The second type is a supermassive black hole and can be millions to billions of times the mass of our sun. Also, we have no idea how these black holes are formed. And when I say we, I mean I couldn't find an answer using Google. Got frustrated and just came to the conclusion that the answer simply doesn't exist.
What the fuck?
But the most common theory I kept seeing is that a black hole must have swallowed another black hole, making it grow much larger. If there's anything I have learned...
How would that clash end? Because I feel like black holes are infinitely kind of able to absorb things. They're able to absorb like infinite amount of things, are they not? So how would that go? Because you've got the strong... Let's say like this. The strongest person in the world versus the strongest person in the world, who wins? It'll be a tie. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What was a tie, right? And then they team up. They become one. Think about it, think about it, think about it. What if these 2 black holes clash, right? Same strength, same everything, right? But see, instead of dying, you got one of them winning. They just combine into one. That might be it. Scientists, hook me up, bro. I swear down.
Scripting this video...
Don't actually hook me up. I swear down, I'll probably get NASA. I'll probably get about 50 astronauts killed.
It's that astronomers and astrophysicists never give a simple answer to anything, so
I can, just tell me.
them resorting to the classic answer of you eat, you grow is quite comical. Since
They call me a black hole. Shit, what the fuck is it?
I know firsthand that is not always the case. But with that out of the way, let's talk about what makes black holes so terrifying. Well, for starters, one of these supermassive black holes sits right at the center of our galaxy, gobbling up pieces of the
Our galaxy sits at the middle of it. How long until it gets to us?
Milky Way as we speak. Another reason why they're so creepy is simply for the fact that they are completely invisible. As I'm sure you know, this is because black holes have a force of gravity so strong that nothing can escape it, not even light. So the only way
I swear down. I'm escaping that shit, bro. Dead easy.
we can see where they are in the universe is by seeing how they interact with their surroundings. But the biggest reason why black holes are so high on the list is simply because we don't know what would happen if you were to enter one. Are they just wormholes? Or would you just get stretched out like a giant piece of spaghetti?
I don't think that's how it works. You'd definitely get ripped to shreds. You'd get compacted and ripped to shreds. I don't think you'd be spaghetti, though.
I'm not kidding, that's the most agreed upon theory.
Are we dead fucking serious?
They call it spaghettification. Or could it be a portal to an alternate dimension? We really don't know.
Well, I don't think you would turn into spaghetti. I think it would just rip you apart. Because if you think about it, see if you went into a black hole like this, right? You were going in. People will think you'll stretch out, but your body doesn't have the capability of stretching. If the gravity was tugging on you, you just wouldn't go anywhere. You just and you would just snap apart. I think that's how it would usually go. I don't think you would turn into spaghetti.
Either way, all of these are absolutely terrifying. Number 1, the size of the universe. Hands
That is the most scariest. Yeah, that makes sense.
down, the most terrifying thing about the universe is its size.
And it's still
Just
growing.
allow me to present my case. Does this image scare you? What about now? Exactly. Let me show you a few more
So light snack, bro. Give me a challenge.
illustrations before I rest my case. For simplicity's sake, let's start at ground level. This is you. You're probably in your room.
Why have I got the fucking quads of an athlete? Why have I actually got the legs of a fucking NBA, not an NBA, fucking NFL quarterback?
Your room is in your home. Your home is here on Earth. Earth's home is in our solar system,
Yeah, yeah.
which has 8 planets. Our
Yeah.
solar system is part of the solar interstellar neighborhood,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
which is part of the Milky
Okay, you lost me.
Way galaxy, also home to at least 100 billion other planets. The Milky Way galaxy is part of the local galactic group,
Yeah, okay. Where's our closest neighbor again? Isn't that the one we were colliding with? Why is it all the way up there? Was it this one? Has to be this one.
which is home to 3
No, it was that one. That's the Andromeda. Ah, that's the galaxy there. That's not fucking galaxies. I don't know what that is.
other galaxies. The 3 galaxies are all inside of the Virgo supercluster,
Oh, there's 3 galaxies there. Hold on. There's the Andromeda. There's the Milky Way. And the Triangulum galaxy. There's only 3. Yes.
group, which is home to 3 other galaxies. The 3 galaxies are all inside of the Virgo supercluster, which
The Virgo supercluster, you've lost me. There's the Virgo cluster here.
has hundreds of galaxies and galaxy clusters. The Virgo supercluster is part of the local superclusters,
The local superclusters, the Virgo supercluster. That's it there, I think. This is the universe.
The local superclusters sit right at the center of the entire
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Take a step back.
observer is part of the local
This is the local superclusters. This entire thing here. These spectacles are all groups of Milky Ways and galaxies.
superclusters. The local superclusters sit right at the center of
And
the
that minuscule there is that. That's what that is.
entire observable universe, which spans 93 billion light years wide. But it doesn't
Really? So like cycle for a guy like me.
end there. This is just what we can see with the current technology we have, and we have no
And it's still growing.
idea how much larger the universe is or if there's even an end to it. But of course, this doesn't stop us from speculating on its size or what could potentially be out there.
I'm sure
Are
it's
there
still
alien
growing.
civilizations far more advanced than ours, or alternate
Now that I think about it, for the size I've just seen, there's a high chance there probably is another life form out there.
realities with infinite
Rick Sanchez, I'm gonna need your help.
possibilities? Or maybe we're all just plugged into a computer, a simulation. After all,
No, this has to be
would this not
real.
be the best time in our known history to simulate? Or maybe Earth is flat and just like
Right, you're pushing the boundaries. This shit ain't fucking flat.
birds, space is not real, so none of this really matters. I guess
If you genuinely believe Earth's flat, you're a fucking idiot.
in the end,
I mean that in the nicest and meanest way possible. I mean it meanly so you can maybe correct yourself, but if you believe the Earth is flat, you're a fucking idiot.
it turns out that the scariest thing about the universe is not really up in space, but instead lives here inside of our imaginations.
The most that's what he means by that is the most complex thing in the universe is our mind. Smart thinking. Anyways, that was your video.